Today, we're going to be going over a whole bunch of things. One of them, as you can see on the screen, we're going to talk about GTA 6 and their refusal to use anything about generative AI. So I just need a second to pull up some things here. Pardon me a moment. And then we can get started. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. I think we're up and running. Okay, so how's everybody doing right now today? Okay. So this is going to be one of the things we're going to talk about. But, you know what, actually, that was such a small thing. Maybe we'll start off with that. I just got to find it again. Where is it? I just lost it. Okay. Okay, yeah, so maybe we'll start off with that. As you can see from all the tabs, there's a whole bunch. And we don't deal in bots here. Okay, question is where to start. I also got some stuff here about Nintendo and some other just in general video game updates as well. You know what, this one's kind of small. We'll start here, maybe. I just gotta organize all my tabs, because as you can see there's a whole bunch together. Some Nintendo stuff. Alright, we'll organize these all up here real quick. Okay. Oh, so this is also part of the AI question here. Excuse me. Here's a high guard thing, so we'll add this to the generic games update. Sorry, I did not have time to organize all of my tabs before jumping in here. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on today. Honkai Star Rail, Steam machines. You know what? Maybe actually we'll start with Steam. We'll start off with a big kick here. So there are some updates about the Steam machines and all the new hardware. All right. So I think yeah, this is where we're going to start today. I just need to come up with at least somewhat of a catchy intro here. Alright, since we're going to start off on that one, we're going to put that one here. there's those two. Oh, this is literally the same article twice. All right. I think we're ready to go. Get rid of this pop-up. All right, here we go. Rejoice, fellow nerds, for we have an update on the new Steam Machine and other related Steam hardware. Steam has confirmed price release windows and has also announced that there's going to be delays in the releases. But we're also getting a price for the Steam Machine as well. Valve has confirmed the rapidly increasing price of PC components has delayed its announcement of Steam Machine and Steam Frame pricing and release dates. In a blog post published on Wednesday, Valve said it still planned to release its console-like PC and VR headset in the first half of this year, but that it would need more time to land on concrete pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce. When we announced these products in November, we planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now, the post reads, but the memory and storage shortages you've likely heard about across the industry have rapidly increased since then. The limited availability and growing prices of these critical components mean that we must revisit our exact shipping schedule and pricing, especially around the Steam Machine and Steam Frame. I'm looking more forward to the Steam Frame more than anything else because I'm a huge VR nerd. I love VR. Our goal of shipping all three products in the first half of this year has not changed, but we have work to do to land on concrete pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce. Being mindful of how quickly the circumstances around both of these things can change, we will keep you updated as much as we can as we finalize those plans as soon as possible. Steam Machine was announced in November with a 2026 launch window and no official pricing details. However, Valve has said that if you build a PC from parts and get to basically the same level of performance, that's the general price window that we aim to be at. It was estimated that based on the components inside Steam Machine, it could retail for around $700. However, since its announcement, memory prices have increased significantly worldwide, with DRAM contract prices reportedly increasing over 170% year over year. This increase in costs has been driven by a huge agreement signed by Samsung and SK in October, which will supply OpenAI with nearly half of the world's DRAM output for its Stargate data centers. According to reports, the resulting price hikes and shortages have left companies without a large stock of components, reportedly including Microsoft, exposed. Alright, now here's for the update. It's been years since Valve first launched its in-house VR headset, which is still, from what I understand, a really good machine. I don't have one. I have a different VR headset that I like very much, at least for now. The Valve Index back in 2019, but the Steam owner has spent the time well developing its new Steam Frame. This standalone headset brings modern technological standards to Valve's VR efforts, including inside-out tracking, improved streaming support, onboard processing, and even Android compatibility. There's so much going on with the Steam Frame that simply calling it a next-generation device seems like underselling it, as Valve attempts to thread the needle of top-in-class specifications while offering a product more attainable than any other headsets from the likes of Apple, Meta, and Samsung. We're rounding up everything we know about the Steam Frame following Valve's announcement, including its release window, full specs, usage modes, controllers, and of course, pricing. It says, check back in for more for continued to update the post. I thought this was actually going to be an update, so we might not actually put this out anyway. Steam Frame release date. Steam Frame was originally set to release in Q1 in 2026, but was delayed with the Steam Machine recently by Valve, citing ongoing concerns with RAM pricing and chip availability. Valve has instead opted to commit to the first half of 2026 for both Steam Frame and Steam Machine, with the caveat that this could change as well. I honestly thought that they were going to give us a concrete date. That's why I set everything up the way that I did. But it looks like I got jerked around too, just like everybody else. And I apologize for jerking you guys around too. But it looks like we're not even going to get this before GTA 6. Like the Steam Deck before it, Valve plans to distribute the Steam Frame through Steam itself in the same regions that are currently supported, with some third-party retailers and other regions. Basically, if you can order a Steam Deck, you'll be able to order a Steam Frame, with Valve stating that it plans to expand its distribution over time. Steam Frame price. Oh, so we are actually going to get a price. For the frame at least. Like the rest of its hardware announcements, Valve fell short of specifying a price for the frame, unlike its previous Index headset. The Steam Frame is a standalone headset with onboard processing, which will affect its eventual price. Similarly, a lot of hardware used in VR headsets has become cheaper over time, so it's not as easy to predict a price when looking back at the Valve Index's $1,000 asking price. Looking at the specifications, it's clear that the Steam Frame is an advanced VR headset that will likely be reflected in the cost. But there are also concessions made that might keep costs down, like in the inclusion of LCD displays over OLED, or monochromatic front-facing cameras over full-color ones. Until Valve announces a price, however, all we can do is speculate. Okay, I just got jerked around hardcore. Alright, so we're not even going to continue on with this. I apologize for wasting everybody's time with that. I thought this was actually going to be an update, so never mind with that. I do apologize. So I'll be getting rid of that video. Alright, so we got some Xbox stuff, some Nintendo stuff, a bunch of Nintendo stuff actually. Some Nio stuff, some generic video game updates. Oh. All right. Maybe we'll do this one instead then. We'll start off with the Honkai Star Rail upcoming update. Alright, so now I gotta come up with something for this one. Alright, let's see here. Because I think there are 2 tabs. Yep, there are. Alright. Okay. Alright, I think we're good to start the next video here, so. Alright, looks like the Hoyoverse has decided to jump back on the train tracks lately with the new update for Honkai Star Rail, the upcoming version 4.0. The version 4.0 introduces a new planet, Planicardia, with unique lore and gameplay, 2 new playable characters, named Yao Guang and Sparksy, and I swear I'm not purposely butchering these names, I'm just bad with names, debut via the Path of Elation. Freebies include a 5-star character selector, Ruan Mayskin, and multiple login rewards. HoYoverse has unveiled the details of the upcoming version 4.0 of their turn-based RPG Honkai Star Rail. The new update, titled No Aha at Full Moon, is a massive patch that brings the crew of the Astral Express to a brand new planet to continue their trailblazing journey. Version 4.0 includes a host of new characters in the story, as well as 2 new playable characters following the brand new Path of Elation, Yaoguang and Sparksy. The version 4.0 release date and time: 4.0 drops on the 13th at these following times. In North America, it's going to drop on the 12th at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. In Europe, on the 13th at 4 a.m. And in Asia, it'll be February 13th at 11. The new planet, called Planicardia, is a planet deeply entwined with the Path of Elation. Once a flat world in canvas, the involvement of the Interastral Peace Corporation eventually transformed this 2D painted world into a bustling urban metropolis with all sorts of delights and surprises in store for visitors. And I do apologize, my eyes are really bad today for some reason. Planicardia exists in reality, but is also home to creatures born from fantasy, known as Imaginae. These creatures are possibly remnants of the world from its time as a painting and coexist in Planicardian society. Planicardia is also the home planet of the Astral Express navigator Himiko, the woman who single-handedly repaired the trailer and started its journey on the stars anew following the death of Akavili, Aeon of the Trailblaze. The people of Planicardia are largely followers of Aha, the Elation, and constantly chase the highs of celebration and entertainment. They see everything from disputes to daily life as a sort of game. All of the games played on Planicardia, one is the most awaited, the Phantasmoon Games, which is a game allegedly created by the Aeon of Elation themselves, and awards the winner with the powers of an Aeon for a full minute. In anticipation of the Phantasmoon Games, various factions, including the Astral Express, IPC, and even Stellaron Hunters, have made their way to Planicardia. There are new path and characters. The 2 new characters will be arriving in 4.0, Yaoguang and Sparksy. Both characters belong to the entirely new gameplay path, the Path of Elation. Characters belong to the Elation path accumulate a special resource known as Punchline. When enough has been gathered, Aha the Elation themselves will descend onto the battlefield, leading Elation path characters in an Aha instant, which causes them to use their special Elation skills and generate character-specific interactions for them. Yaoguang is a master diviner as well as the arbiter general of the Zhanzhou Yuke of the Zhanzhou fleet. Described as a goddess of fortune, she resolves crises and brings good omens through her divinations. She originally appeared on call with various characters in versions 2.5 and 3.7 of the game. Yaoguang is a 5-star physical unit and the first character belonging to the Path of Elation. She will be released in Phase 1 of version 4.0 and is a character who specializes in buffing allied damage, forcing an extra Aha instant, and increasing punchline generation. Yaoguang also provides additional elation damage to allies with a further boost for allies who spend skill points during their attacks. On top of this, she also has the ability to increase the damage taken by enemies and regenerate skill points for allies. Sparksy is the other new character arriving in version 4.0. She looks surprisingly similar to Sparkle, though the trailer suggests they may be different people. Sparksy is the hottest streamer in Planicardia and a 5-star elation unit that can spend a ton of skill points in a single turn to regenerate punchlines or refund skill points, all while increasing her own damage. Sparksy kit also includes several sources of elation damage, which can be buffed by Yao Guang and similar effects. So it looks like these characters just build upon damage, whether that's you giving damage or your opponents receiving the damage. And I don't know why the sudden urge for video games to put streamer as part of the characters' backstories. They did it in Borderlands 3, and they're doing it here. I don't know if this is a sudden trend that I'm not familiar with or not. The version 4.0 banners will see a rate up banner for the characters Yao Guang and Sparksy in phases 1 and 2 of the patch, respectively. On top of this, returns of 3 characters will happen alongside both of the new characters, with Evernight, Hycelins, and Black Swan rerunning alongside Yao Guang, while Rappa, Seridra, and Sparkle will be returning alongside Sparksy. Black Swan and Sparkle will also be receiving buffs to their kits, further bolstering their ability to buff DOT damage, or DOT-based teams, and teams that consume skill points, respectively. There are some freebies to go along with the new patch, and most of the gifts arrive simply by logging in throughout the event. So these are the log-on bonuses that you'll get as you play. They include a 5-star character selector featuring limited units, a free skin for Ruan Mei, and free Star Rail special passes and Stellar Jades. The 5-star selector is available upon login and allows players to choose between Jing Yuan, Kafka, Imbibitor, Lune, Jingliu, Sparkle, Acheron, and Adventuring as their claimed unit. This event runs from the start of version 4.0 all the way to the end of version 4.2. The Gift of Odyssey login event also making a return, featuring 10x Star Rail special passes up for grabs. These 10 pulls will be distributed over a 7-day login period. Another login, even arriving in version 4.0, is the Gift of Arcadia, which provides players with a 10x Star Rail special passes, 3x self-modeling resin, and 600 Lone Stardust, which can be used to redeem various cosmetics in the Treasure's Light Ward shop. The last major freebie in 4.0 is the free-to-claim skin for the 5-star character Ruan Mei, Plum Blossom Letter. The claiming period lasts for the duration of 4.0, and currently it's unknown if the skin will be making an appearance in the shop after the claiming period is over. And there are some redemption codes that were also released. And as Honkai Star Rail is approaching their 4th year and the release of 4.0 coming up, the special live stream showcase revealed some lore and some other gameplay reveals regarding upcoming content of the turn-based RPG. And 2 characters following, like I said, were the Yao Guang and Sparksy, and some other Nova Flare kit updates to Sparkle and Black Swan. Alright, and here are the codes. They've provided a handy link to the official website for each redeemable code, so you just click this link here, and you'll be able to, follow these links, and you'll be able to get your codes as well. And I will try to put them in the description as well if it'll let me. The codes are only valid for about 24 hours or until they reach their maximum number of redemptions. So be sure to claim them, you guys, while you can. This article was released, I believe, yesterday at 7 a.m. So who knows if these keys are still available? I imagine they still would be. But anyway, I'll try to get this video out as quick as possible. And so these are the codes right here. Pause the video, type down these codes going to the page, and receive your free credits and other goodies. Anyway, be sure to like the video, subscribe for more video game updates, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later. Okay, so that is ROKAI Star Rail done. Oh, it's an awful lot of talking. All right. This should be up here with the other generic updates. Okay. This is more generic update. It's Nintendo. Oh, this is also Nintendo. This is generic update. Sorry, I did not, like I said, I did not have enough time to sort these all out beforehand. Okay. All right. Do we do the generic update next? Or do we want to go over a little bit of Mayo glazing? Or do we do a bit of touch-up? Oh, so this we can include in our generic video game update as well. But we'll start here. Okay. All right, so we're going to go over a bit of a video game update, just do some generic video game news that's coming up for some of the games and minor updates for all the existing games and some that are coming out shortly. It seems there is a Fallout remaster still in active development for Fallout 3. The new report has shed light on Microsoft Xbox plans for 2026 while confirming one unannounced game is still in the works. Microsoft announced last month Playground's Forza Horizon 6 coming out in May, and The Verge said that Halo campaign Evolved is tentatively targeting a release date in the summer. Gears of War E-Day, meanwhile, is set for the second half of the year. Playground's Fable is due out in fall so far currently. Microsoft wants both Gears of War and Fable to avoid GTA 6's gargantuan November launch. According to the report, the Fallout 3 remaster fans are desperate to see announced is still active or still in active development. 3 years after it appeared in FTC documents as part of Microsoft's bid to buy Activision Blizzard. The Verge said that Bethesda is keen to ensure the game is polished enough to enjoy a successful launch similar to last year's Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion remaster, which Bethesda chief Todd Howard recently told IGN he was really, really pleased with. So I suspect if they're taking this long to actually develop the game, that it won't be nearly as glitchy as it was initially, which would be nice. News that Fallout 3's release is still happening will be of some comfort to fans. The Verge did not provide an update on the potential Fallout New Vegas remaster. Bethesda's space RPG Starfield, meanwhile, is reportedly set for new content as well soon, and it looks like we'll hear about the heavily rumored PlayStation 5 version as well. And Double Fine's recently revealed Kiln is coming out in April. In terms of the hardware, The Verge said Microsoft will release a new Xbox controller this year. It will reportedly include Wi-Fi connectivity to reduce Xbox cloud gaming latency. There's no suggestion Microsoft will release its next-gen Xbox this year, which tallies with recent comments from the boss of AMD. However, The Verge expressed hope that Microsoft will talk more about its next-gen console plans later this year. Last month, Xbox held an Xbox Developer Direct showcase where it revealed new information and gameplay on everything from Forza 6 to Fable. Alright. And also, keeping with Fallout 76 crossplay is still on the table for Bethesda. The game wasn't built for crossplay, but because so many of the 76 fans, I don't know how many of the 5 of them that there actually were that actually wanted crossplay, but it looks like they're getting it. When it first launched in 2018, one of the biggest issues many took with Fallout 76 was how empty the world was without NPCs. That was one of my biggest complaints as well. There were no NPCs and almost nobody was playing it, and so it was just you walking around in this endless open world, and it was annoying. And that was just one of the major problems with it. It was almost 2 years before the Wastelanders update finally brought life into Appalachia in 2020. That's 2 years without any NPCs. Nobody was playing it. In fact, there were several occasions where this game was actually free, whether it was on Steam or on the Microsoft Marketplace store built into the computer. That's not the only major issue that's constantly plagued Fallout 76 fans since the game was launched. Wasteland denizens are still dying for crossplay to be added in the game. I think crossplay would be a good idea. I don't know that Fallout 76 would be the game to try it out on because nobody likes that game. Nobody plays this game. If you're gonna put crossplay into a game, put it into Fallout 3 that you're currently in the process of redoing. That would be the place to put it. It's been a request from Fallout 76 players since the game's launch, but we are seemingly no closer to it actually happening. Players just want to travel the wasteland together, regardless of their video game platform, which seems reasonable enough. So, during a video interview with Fallout 76 creative director John Rush and production director Bill Lacoste, we asked for an update. They're looking into it, and we have plans to try to scope out what that work is going to entail for us, Rush shared with Polygon before taking the wind out of our sails. It's just not in the immediate plans for us. We know players want it. Honestly, this game is failing, so either abandon the game or give the players what they want so people will actually play this horrible, horrible game. Unfortunately, when Bethesda created Fallout 76, it was without the framework to make crossplay a reality. Adding it after the fact, it turns out, is a gargantuan task for a number of reasons. Well, I'm pretty sure they actually would have to rebuild the game from the ground up, honestly, and put that aspect of the game into the code, because if you build it without it, you have to basically rebuild it to put it back in. It's huge technical hurdles that are things you tackle before release, during your actual development of the product, Lacoste explained. So going back and retrofitting it to do that when you have different places that players are pointing into, and now you're having to worry about entitlements and account purchases and currency. So get rid of currency and your microtransactions. Nobody wants the microtransactions and all that nonsense. Just give the players what they want. And while players shouldn't expect it anytime soon, Bethesda hears your complaints and is not ignoring them. I pose that they actually are. What we can promise players is that we will continue to investigate, we will continue to try to establish plans to make that thing in the future. It's just not in the short term. So they tease you and say that they're going to put it in eventually. It's just not what they're working on right now. We know it's the one thing that players want with our game, but we're not going to give it to you because we'd rather focus on in-game currencies and microtransactions and purchases. And I think that is a huge failing. Alright, so now into Helldivers. Helldivers 2 armors up for its very own Star War, as automatons have stolen plans for a planet-killing space station. Now, I love Helldivers. I love Helldivers 2. And this looks like it might be an interesting update. New stage in Helldivers 2 Galactic War for Democracy has begun in earnest. Spurred on by the automatons stealing blueprints for Super Earth's Star of Peace space station, in response to this rebellious action, players will have to travel back to their home planet, first introduced in the original Helldivers, Cyberstan. This space station, in the wrong hands, can destroy whole planets, much like another space station you might already be familiar with. You might say that there was a war in the stars over it. As such, Helldivers 2 players have been thrust across the galaxy to stop an evil, undemocratic copy of it being built. Communists. Communists are building an intergalactic space station. Players have done the math, and it doesn't look good for the community of Helldivers 2 patriots. Users on the Helldivers 2 Reddit has tracked the Helldivers reserves, essentially a numerical count of how many lives the community has to spare when taking Cyberstan. At the current rate, these reserves may dry up before players can even take a crack at conquering Cyberstan, unless, of course, Helldivers Game 2 Master Joel leaps to the rescue. To help them do so, tanks have now been added to the game. This multi-person vehicle can be seen briefly in the announcement trailer for this update, mowing down robots, guns blazing. That's not all players have to help them push forward into robot territory. The recently released Premium War Bond provides the LAZ-16 Trident gun, as well as a huge hammer people have been using to charge in and deal serious close quarters damage with. And with Highguard's latest update will include the new Warden Ekon, who can ride himself. Ride himself? I don't like how that can be interpreted, honestly. That sounds rather dirty. The Highguard team has released another patch, again, for its live service hero shooter that nobody is still going to play because it's still a garbage game. This update includes a new warden known as Ekon. Ekon is described as a legendary wild walker who is able to shapeshift into a direwolf. This means he doesn't need a mount, as he is the mount. So does that mean other players can ride him? Sorry. When his mentor and closest thing to family goes missing in the lost land of Highguard, there is no monster or warden this great predator will allow to stand in his way. As well as the new warden, the update which welcomes in Highguard Episode 2 also adds a new map known as Skydrift, which, as the name suggests, takes place above the clouds. From a quick glance at the artwork for this map, I get flashbacks to the Sky Islands in Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But there's more structures dotted about. Other quality of life improvements include the likes of being able to leave the party by clicking on party member's social card, dead players no longer show up in the mini-map, and more. You can check for the latest updates via these links down here below, or you can follow their progress here on X. That is not something that I personally will be doing. And while we're on the subject of shooters, Overwatch's new hero Jetpack Cat, there's the new voice actor for that, and apparently it's the same guy that was doing voices for Commander Shepard. Jennifer Hale, most famously known for Commander Shepard in the Mass Effect trilogy, has been confirmed to voice Jetpack Cat in Overwatch. The Flying Feline is one of 5 new heroes coming to the game on February 10th. That gives you guys 3 days to get this game and check it out, or to get ready for the game updates. The Express Tribune reported that Hale will be providing the meows for Jetpack Cat in the newly renamed game. Wait, so all she's going to be doing is meowing? That's it? No words? That's going to be like the easiest contract ever. Which is now just Overwatch by ditching the 2. The title change is part of a major overhaul of the online FPS. As for Hale, who also voices Ashe in the game, Overwatch audio and technical director Scott Lawson stated that she did an incredible job and working with it was so much fun. On X, Hale also expressed her excitement about voicing Jetpack Cat. Okay, so she's done other voices as well. And it looks like one of the things that's happening to Overwatch is they're changing the name from Overwatch 2 to just Overwatch. The support character can heal and tow allies from the sky thanks to the obvious jetpack. As for Jetpack Cat's ultimate ability, called Catnapper, the hero can plunge down to disrupt opponents, then tether one to throw them off a ledge. So kind of like what you would do with Kirby in Smash Brothers. You'd suck them in, walk them to the edge, and spit them out. Jetpack Cat was basically a decade in the making for Overwatch. In fact, former Overwatch game director Jeff Kaplan discussed with GameSpot back in 2017 that a feline hero was part of the development for the multiplayer shooter at some point. Recently, Hale talked about the roller coaster ride of taking over as Bayonetta for the 3rd game in the action series. Hale didn't reprise her role as Samus Aran for Metroid Prime 4 after voicing the bounty hunter for the first 3 games in the sub-series. So she did the first 3 games of Samus, but not the 4th one. Okay, and alright, Square Enix will share more updates than ever before on the Final Fantasy VII Remake project that's going on this year. Square Enix is planning to share more updates than ever before on its Final Fantasy VII Remake project, according to game director Naoki Hamaguchi. This comes from a tweet posted by Hamaguchi following today's Nintendo Switch Partner Direct, during which the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth received a June release date for Switch 2 and Xbox consoles. The post, which Hamaguchi wrote in both Japanese and in English, reads as follows. We've announced that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will launch on June 3rd with the addition of Switch 2 and Xbox. The game will be released as a full multi-platform title this year. This year, we plan to share more updates on the Final Fantasy VII Remake project than ever before. We look forward to celebrating together with even more players around the world. This is exciting news for Remake fans who have been on the edge of their seats for last few years waiting for news of the 3rd game in the trilogy, which we have yet to see at all. Honestly though, I said this when the first one came out, I do not like the idea that they split one game into 3 different games. It just seems like cash grabbing, and I don't care for it very much. even though I was a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII when it first came out back in the day. Though Hamaguchi didn't outright say it, this feels like a tease for a reveal this year. Rebirth left the story on one heck of a cliffhanger, with players left doubting whether the game's most famous twist really took place or not. The third game has a lot of work to do to land the plot plane set up by Remake and Rebirth, and it will be interesting to see how Square Enix does it. Fans have already been speculating as to what Part 3 will be called, following the Remake and Rebirth titles as well as Reunion on the recent Crisis Core remake. Popular suggestions include Reincarnation, Revival, Reawakening, Redemption, and Return. Final Fantasy VII Remake first launched in 2020. At the time, we gave it an 8 out of 10, saying that it breathes... I'm so sorry. Final Fantasy VII Remake first launched in 2020. At the time, we gave it an 8 out of 10, saying that it breathes exciting new life into a classic while standing as a great RPG all its own. The game was originally a PS4 exclusive, but came to PS5 in its fancy DLC-filled form, with Final Fantasy VII Remake intergrade later to PC and Nintendo Switch. And Nintendo Switch 2 as well, just last month. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was also excellent, with us giving it a 9 out of 10, saying it impressively builds off of what Remake set in motion. Both as a best-in-class action RPG full of exciting challenges and awe-inspiring recreation of a world that has meant so much to so many for so long. Like I said, I am not a fan of the remakes because I don't like the fact that they split it into 3 games. Alright, Xbox is planning a summer release for Halo Remake and a late 2026 launch for Gears of War E-Day, according to this new report. A new report has claimed that Gears of War E-Day is eyeing a release window in the second half of 2026, with Halo Combat Evolved tentatively targeting a launch sometime this summer. This report claims that Microsoft wants both Gears of War E-Day and Fable to dodge the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6. Understand Microsoft has a good idea of when both should launch, but it's also keen to avoid being too close to Grand Theft Auto 6's November 19th date. The report also touches on the Fallout 3 remake, which The Verge reports is an active development, and the article also states that Bethesda wants the game to reach a similar bar of quality as the Oblivion remake. Finally, The Verge reports that Double Fine's The Kiln is aiming for an April release, and the new Starfield content is due for a reveal soon. All of this comes with the caveat: don't be surprised if any of these dates change or slip. Such is the reality of video game development. If the release windows are accurate, which they may very well be, then Microsoft certainly has a packed 2026. Fable, which we already know is due to launch sometime this fall, recently got a dedicated showcase in the Xbox Developer Direct. There's also Forza Horizon 6 set in Japan and landing on the 19th of May. Riftbound's first State of the Game update offers players a deeper look into the plans for 2026. Riot has released its first State of the Game update on Riftbound, a biannual blog-style post designed to keep the community informed. In it, we got a more detailed look at upcoming organized play events, teases for upcoming expansions and cards, solidified dates for sets beyond Spiritforged, and interviews with game director Dave Guskin and executive producer Changren Chai, which offer insight into what the team has learned since the game launched in October of last year. Riot previously announced in the first half of the organized play roadmap for 2026, but we now have the full picture. After Las Vegas regional qualifier on February 27th, fans can expect more regional qualifiers all around the US and Europe, culminating in the final regional qualifier in Riot's hometown of Los Angeles in September. If you want to check out the schedule, go ahead and pause the video here and take down the notes that you want if you want to go see any of these. The update also provided a more detailed breakdown of when to expect previews for the rest of the year's expansion starts. Unleashed previews start March 16th, Vendetta on the 22nd of June, and Radiance kicks off on September 21st. We have the full breakdown of Riftbound's 2026 release schedule with full dates and details. The most important updates come from the interviews with Guskin and Chai. State of the game updates are intended to be transparent updates on the lessons of the Riftbound team has learned throughout its life cycle, and it's apparently they've learned many hard lessons already. To start, mechanically, unique cards from separate products like Proving Grounds will not be present moving forward. We've learned our lesson and do not plan to include mechanically unique cards in future iterations of this product, said Chai. Proving Grounds offered powerful cards not available open in the main Origin set, and with Spirit Forge, we'll see reprints of those cards as a way to get those unique cards in the hands of players who may have missed out due to supply issues. The biggest issue plaguing competitive play in China currently is the dominance of Draven, Glorious Executioner, and the purple cards that make up most of the deck. Guskin states that the team's philosophy behind banning and or restricting cards is that we want to intervene at a minimal level needed to correct an emergency state, with no current plans to take action at this time, opting to see how the meta will evolve once Spirit Forge launches in the US to see how it did with Origins. Similar to how it did with Origins. When asked if Riot will be supporting Riftbound digitally, Chai responded that while they are aware of the interest in a digital client, their main focus is the in-person social interaction, and we do not want that to be lost. If you are a competitive player looking to attend a regional qualifier for a chance at a Best of Metal Legend card, they've outlined how limited these highly sought-after prizes will be moving forward. Best of Metal cards will be rotated out events after every 3 set releases. So the Origins, Proving Grounds, Best of cards will no longer be eligible for prizing following the release of Vendetta on the 31st of July. Finally, Chai confirms that we will finally see the printing of new legends in the 3 currently unused color combinations in Vendetta. And the last update, Ubisoft reportedly cancels the rumored cooperative multiplayer Assassin's Creed game, which I talked about in a previous video that I'm currently working on releasing right now, so I'll release that one first, and then you guys can check this, you guys can kind of compare and contrast. Ubisoft has reportedly canceled the multiplayer cooperative Assassin's Creed title that has been in development at French studio Ubisoft Annecy. So this, from what I remember talking about in the last video that I did about it, it was kind of like a Fallout Guys kind of a style game. And nobody liked it. The devs that were working on it didn't like it. The only people that did actually enjoy it were the guys at the top who all they saw were dollar signs in their eyes. This comes from a report by the French publication Origami, which IGN has independently translated. According to the report, the project was codenamed AC League, was originally conceived as a DLC for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and would have potentially taken place in the same feudal Japan era. Oh, so this isn't this thing that I was talking about in the last video. The game I guess it was, the game that I was talking about in the last video was not a DLC, it was an independent game, and I was told that it would play a lot like Fall Guys, which I immediately hated the idea of. The DLC would have involved 4 assassins joining forces to take on a series of scripted missions with up to 4 players that would have ultimately concluded the story told in the game's cancelled season pass. You may have already heard of AC League if you pay close attention to Assassin's Creed gossip, as it was previously rumored last year. The Project Origami reports was apparently fairly ambitious and was intended to serve as a baseline for future multiplayer features throughout the series, such as a return to a hybrid solo multiplayer style as existed in Unity or Black Flag. And Black Flag is still a rumored remake right now, though I don't hold much hope for it personally. However, as the AC League project progressed, directors at Ubisoft and SE began to question whether it made sense to attach League to Shadows, as they worried it would take too long to make, and came up with a different plan that turned it into a small, standalone title borrowing pieces of the Assassin's Creed Shadows open world. Development on this progressed with an intended invite-only alpha planned for May of 2026. Unfortunately, AC League was allegedly just the latest victim of the ongoing upheaval at Ubisoft for several months now. The company has been undergoing a massive restructure along with major cost-cutting measures and reorganizing its creative houses. It was to this restructuring that AC League fell victim, with leadership at Ubisoft being informed just last week that AC League was being cancelled. However, there's still a sliver of hope for the project. Apparently, a handful of employees have been selected to transfer the technical advancements the team made back into the company's proprietary Anvil engine, with the goal of eventually making it easier to add replayable multiplayer modes to future Assassin's Creed titles that would be less expensive to develop. Unfortunately, that leaves more than a quarter of 270 individuals working at Annecy without a project at the moment, leaving a lot of lingering anxiety that layoffs may be coming next. Well, we already know they're coming. I talked about this in 2 separate videos previous to this. Ubisoft declined request for comment. Alright, so I believe that takes us to the end of the video game updates. I'll be covering some other things as well coming up soon. Check back, I do videos every week, so make sure you guys check those out throughout the week as well. I do appreciate y'all coming and checking out the video. Make sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe on YouTube and as well on Kick. And you can check the live streams out on both of those platforms as well. Later, everybody. I am not so good with the endings on these things, honestly. Let's close these tabs. So we can close that one. We can close that one. That one. Close High Guard. Xbox. Close that one. That one. And Overwatch. This is all Switch. Switch. Nintendo related. We can add this to the end of the Nintendo stuff. This should be kind of funny. Alright, in the meantime, I'm going to take a quick break, everybody. I will come back shortly after getting some more water, and we'll continue on with the news. All right. We're back in it. Okay. Question is, do we... Oh, I forgot my water. Be right back again. Just this time it'll just be a second. Okay. Now we're back. Now that I have my water. Okay. All right, so we'll go over this this Nio. I don't think it needs to be a video per se. Nio 3 review. Team Ninja on top form with one of its best Maso Core games yet. I've got my glasses this time, so now I can actually read things. With Nio 3, Team Ninja has made a Maso Core game entirely its own. Can understand why Nio 3 producer Fumihiko Yasuda and the team refer to Nio and their other tough as nails titles as Maso Core. After all, they might be heavily inspired by From Software's slate of the monolithic action games. But they strive to give each game a unique atmosphere and feel, along with mechanics that set them apart from the pack. So far, the results have been mixed. While I can't complain about the core gameplay mechanics in Rise of Ronin or Wolong Fallen Dynasty, the former took too much inspiration from vast open worlds that didn't suit its gameplay, and the latter have level design that took a nosedive past a certain point. Those games now feel like ambitious experiments, and Nio 3 has taken those lessons to make something that feels entirely unique. In a post-Elden Ring world, having a large environment to explore seems like the next natural step. But again, lessons have been learned from the rise of the Ronin's overwhelming size. In Nio 3, you'll contend with 3 overworlds with some short linear sections sprinkled in between. But each of these 3 worlds feels smartly designed. You won't be riding on horseback, though, or through open fields towards an enemy encampment. But you might just find a base riddled with yokai nesting in between buildings, or nestled in between buildings. Instead of being an open world where you can go anywhere and do anything, this one is connected by tight alleys and corridors. There are a few spots where you might be able to sneakily jump onto a roof and avoid an enemy encounter, but for the most part, the routes are set, and alternate routes for eagle-eyed players to funnel you through areas, through combat, encounters, enemy ambushes, and copious amounts of loot. I am a loot goblin. I love loot. I overly explore all of the games that I play. It is a horribly bad habit, to be honest. And I will continue to do it. Because like I said, I am a loot goblin. Making your way through any given area often feels closer to moving through the tightly designed levels of the original Dark Souls or one of Elden Ring's legacy dungeons, as opposed to modern open world games. That's no bad thing, and means that instead of darting around a map to tick off objectives, you have a distinct sense of moving forward towards some sort of goal at all times. Its world design that's inspired by its open world contemporaries, but put through the lens of Nioh's gameplay. With any superfluous stripped away, Team Ninja's experiments have allowed it to refine exactly what makes Nioh great. But that's not all it's learned while looking back. Honestly, I played one of the Nioh games, and I am not a fan of Dark Souls style games. Graphically, they're beautiful games. I just don't like the gameplay. They're just not for me, to be honest. So if these type of games are your thing, by all means, go for it. Ninja Gaiden is enjoying a bit of a renaissance at the moment, with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound all releasing in short space of time to great reception. And it was clearly on the minds of the team. The Nioh series has always featured references to Ninja Gaiden, including the Hayabusa family and the iconic Izuna drop technique. But Nioh 3 takes things a step further and gives your player character a full ninja moveset. That's Nioh 3's big innovation. It's not the world, it's the player. You can now swap between ninja and samurai styles by pressing R2 at any time. Some of Nioh's massive weapon selection can only be wielded while using ninja style, and the two styles essentially act as a completely new character build with unique skills, weapons, armor, and more. You're free to stick to one style for the entire game if you really want to, but switching can be used to burst break enemies, and some foes are far easier to take down as one style over another. Both styles can access the same ranged weapons, but the ninja style can't key pulse, deflect attacks, or change stances. Instead, gaining access to ninjutsu techniques, including different types of shuriken stars and even short-term transformations. Ninjutsu techniques don't cost key to use, so they can be spammed while taking distance to keep your opponent busy as you take a breather. The ninja-style swift attack make short work of most basic enemies, and the samurai's deflect and key pulse mechanics can make a player with swift fingers feel immortal against any boss. But I eventually found myself using the ninja style more and more across the course of gameplay. The cutthroat combos combined with skills like Mist make you feel incredibly nimble, if a bit squishy. And the ninjutsu skills almost always make short work of human-like opponents, like masters and mimics, that can't handle having low ki. Even some of the armor designs clearly evoke Ninja Gaiden's legacy. And if you play it that way, it can feel more like a Ninja Gaiden RPG. If it sounds like the story has given way to the mechanics in this review, that's because the game plays out the same way. You are Lord Takicho, rightful shogun, but as is the way with these things, you are betrayed at the last minute and find yourself thrown through time, tasked with destroying evil crystals that harbor evil energy that makes people do evil things. You'll encounter various warriors throughout history, many with a guardian spirit by their side, and you must cleanse the evil crystals from their spirits and return the timeline to normal. Yes, time travel, the ultimate thing that allows you to continue a story. There's also a magic mirror involved. Sad to say that it's hardly the most engaging part of the game, but there's some very nice cutscenes to enjoy along the way. So what he's saying is that the game itself is more of the same and kind of blah, but the gameplay is fantastic, and so is the art direction. While Nioh 3 does often look pretty, it's a bit disappointing to say that even on PS5 Pro, it can look a bit low res, with some frame drops and stutters occurring later on in the game, and these are noticeable even if you are equipped with a VRR-capable display. It's certainly not game breaking or experience ruining, but worth mentioning. The game also caused the console to hard crash once, forcing a reset via holding down the power button. And I hope that issue can get patched so it doesn't risk bricking a console. Great, so this game is hardware destroying on top of graphics eating. When everything is working as intended, Nioh 3 is a success. It never feels like a waste of your time with new, unique enemy encounters and items, hidden around seemingly every corner. It's a game that'll have you up till late at night checking just one more corner and fighting one more enemy. And if it's really testing your patience, up to 3 players can jump into a game together in co-op to beat down bosses and clear through areas. Now that's cool. I don't recall you being able to do co-op in the other versions of the game. I imagine that'll be the preferred way to play for some. Well, yeah, it's always better to beat down demons with friends. It felt like there were other games like Nioh and Rise of the Ronin, but there aren't any other games quite like Nioh 3. It has great breadth and variety while still maintaining a core focus that never dilutes. It's one of the best Maso-core games of the generation, and even if it doesn't hit the same highs as From Software's flagship games, it has definitely managed to set its own course for the future. Launching Nioh on PC at the same time as PS5 is paying off, so I guess it means, putting it on more than one console is a good idea. And honestly, I would probably agree. It's only been out for a few hours, but I guess at this point it's been a few days. While its 2 predecessors, Nioh and Nioh 2, did eventually make it to Steam, the PC releases came several months after the PlayStation debuts. However, arriving on Steam on release day in parity with the PlayStation, Nioh 3 is already the biggest Nioh game in franchise history with over 54,000 concurrent players at the time of writing. By comparison, according to SteamDB, the first game only reached a peak of about 10,000 concurrents, while the sequel reached 41. Nioh 3 delivers best-in-class combat that revitalizes, and we just read a review that was like the combat was okay, but it's the controls and the game mechanics that are the key aspects to the new game. So I don't know if that's an entirely, forthright review. If one guy says, the story's okay, but the mechanics are awesome, and this is like, oh yeah, the gameplay is great. Or the storytelling is great, but we have somebody saying that it was just okay. Okay, so those are the Nioh updates. There seems to be a lot of things going around about AI, and I already did a video on AI, so I'm not going to cover it again. But this relates to Rockstar. So maybe we'll cover it. And then all of this is Nintendo related stuff. So that one's probably going to be a longer video. All right. I suppose we can make this a thing as well. So let's pull this up. Hello, welcome. And it seems like with the impending release date of November for GTA 6 coming up quick, even though it's only February, it seems like there have been rumors flying around that GTA 6 will not be having physical copies at all. And it seems like those rumors are false and that there are actually going to be physical copies that you can purchase of this game when it drops. Take-Two CEO has refuted rumors that Grand Theft Auto 6 will launch without physical copies. Zelnick was asked to comment on previous reporting, which stated that according to a source, the highly anticipated release would come out without physical copies in an attempt to curb spoilers from folks obtaining these copies early. Zelnick responded to Variety, "That's not the plan." A brief but sharp rebuttal of the prior reporting. So if you're keen on getting your actual hands on a physical copy, you'll actually be able to do that. It's been an interesting period for GTA 6. Not only did Rockstar North suffer from a boiler explosion earlier this year, which I actually covered in a previous video, but there's an ongoing battle between the developer and the employees that they fired. These employees claim the company is union busting, whereas Rockstar has claimed unauthorized sharing of confidential material was the reason these people were let go. Recently, these impacted employees were denied interim pay pending further investigation by the UK tribunal. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release in November, following a delay announced by Rockstar and Take-Two last year. Don't feel too bad for Rockstar and Take-Two, though, as last year it also came out that GTA 5 had sold more copies than the population of Brazil. Well, of course it did, because that game is at least 10 years old at this point. There's a further update from Take-Two about GTA 6 in regards to generative AI, and they're taking the stance that generative AI will have zero part in the production of GTA 6. GTA 6 will not feature any generative AI. That's coming from Take-Two head Strauss Zelnick, who assured the GTA community that the controversial technology has zero part in what Rockstar is building. They say that now. However, with the way that AI is producing, which I have done in a previous video, and how there's a generative model that allows you to create video games, I don't suspect that they'll hold that stance for very long. Zelnick was talking with Eurogamer's sister site GamesIndustry.biz ahead of Take-Two's Q3 financial results when the topic of AI came up. The company head said that he has been enthusiastic about AI from the beginning, and Take-Two's products have always been built with machine learning and artificial intelligence. Zelnick called Take-Two a leader in the space, with the company currently having hundreds of pilots and implementations across the board, and that includes within our studios. He added the company has seen instances where generative AI tools are driving costs and time efficiencies, though he does not believe these tools in isolation can create great entertainment properties. This is when the conversation turned to Rockstar and GTA 6, which is expected to debut on November 19th. Specifically with regards to GTA 6, generative AI has zero part in what Rockstar Games is building, Zelnick said, adding the studio's worlds are handcrafted and that is what sets it apart from other studios. And even though they're not going to be using it for GTA 6 because they've already pretty much finished the game at this point, so putting AI into it would not make sense. But clearly they have plans to put it in other things. So if you don't like AI, you'll probably stop playing games, because I imagine within the next 12 to 18 months, most games will have at least some part of AI that was used to create them. They're built from the ground up building by building, street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood. They're not procedurally generated. They shouldn't be, Zelnick said. That's what makes great entertainment. Zelnick's words come soon after Take-Two saw its stock price plunge to an 11-month low after Google rolled out Project Genie, an AI tool which allows users to generate virtual worlds in 60-second bursts from text prompts, which is what I was talking. This is the tool I was talking about earlier in this video, and it's also a video that I did the other day in my previous stream, and I'll have that video out sometime this week as well, and you'll be able to check out all you need to know about the generative AI that Google is producing. As Vicky reported at the weekend, several companies, in addition to Take-Two, including CD Projekt, Unity, and Roblox, saw between 8 to 20% wiped off the value of their companies. And there was actually an interview with the Unity CEO, and they are talking about implementing these technologies, like the one that Google produced, into their software to make producing games a lot more easier for smaller developers or single producer projects, like indie games where it's only like a team of 5. Anyway, that's your Rockstar GTA 6 update. Like and subscribe so you get updated on more updates like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later. Alright, that's another video done. The question is, with what I have planned, do we cover Nintendo stuff? Because there is a fair bit to talk about. Well, it's Saturday. We can probably go a little bit longer. Let me just check on some things here real quick. I do apologize. All right. Sorry, I am checking messages presently. Oh. Something happened with my headset. Ooh, there it is. Okay, cool. It died on me, so I had to plug it back in real quick. All right. Grab a drink of water here. So much talking. All right. Thanks for the follow. But I don't allow advertisements, sorry. Oof. Okay. Let me pull up these windows again. Alrighty. Sorry, everything's going wrong on my end. Okay. Here we go. Alright, this is your Nintendo update, and there's a lot to go over here, as you can see from my tabs. But the most recent one that we're gonna cover right now immediately is Switch passing the Nintendo DS to become the best-selling console in Nintendo's history. Nintendo has released its latest financial report, which means we have updated numbers on the various consoles. The Nintendo Switch 2 has surpassed 17 million units, but the real story here is the older hardware, the original Nintendo Switch, which has reached a major milestone and set a Nintendo record at 155.37 million units sold. The Switch has officially outsold the Nintendo DS to become the best-selling Nintendo console ever. It's still 5 million units away from catching up to Sony's PlayStation 2, and nobody's sure if the old Switch is going to catch up. Back in the old days, game consoles would grow cheaper over time. By the end of their life cycles, systems like PS2, Wii, and DS were selling for around $100 each. Alas, that's not really the case anymore. The cheapest you'll find a new Nintendo Switch Lite is in the $200 range. And that is the stripped-down version that can only be played in handheld mode, not docked. That's because Nintendo refuses to follow regular standard trends and sell old things for a cheaper price. They constantly think that their hardware and games that are older deserve to continue to be sold at brand new prices, even though things like their games are well over 5 years old and they're still selling them for $60 a piece. Personally, I think Nintendo is greedy for that. That makes it a much tougher impulse buy for casual players who aren't really into gaming but might pick one up on a whim or try it out. Think of how long the PS2 and Wii lasted after their successors came out. I don't think we'll see a system with such a long tail again. Well, that's the reason why is because the Switch 2 and the Switch are almost basically exactly the same system. So there's not really any reason to buy the brand new one when the old one literally works just as well. Anyway, while the Nintendo Switch is winding down and ending its run on top, the Switch 2 is just getting started. Since launching in June of 2025, it's become the fastest-selling Nintendo system ever, and we'll have to see if it can catch up with this momentum and match the sales numbers of the original Switch. But that story will take years to unfold and will probably be dead by the time we learn the answer. So I was actually in Japan right around the time that the Switch 2 released, and there was not a whole lot of hype and rigmarole in any of the stores that I went into because they had they seemed to have an overabundance of consoles on the shelves, so they weren't as in high demand over there. And continuing on, this is everything that's going to be announced at the February Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, which was actually 2 days ago, and I apologize for getting this out now. The new Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase aired, and we got a smattering of both new reveals and familiar games finding their way onto the Switch ecosystem. We're rolling into the second year of the Nintendo Switch 2, and it seems like the new console's pulling in quite a few third-party games and ports. Here's everything that they saw during the live show. The charmingly retro anime co-op puzzler Orbitals has a launch window for its Switch 2 exclusive debut. Shape Farm and publisher Kepler Interactive are targeting summer 2026 for the spacefaring adventure, and today's gameplay breakdown looked pretty darn good to those looking for a new co-op game and playthrough with a partner or pal should probably take note. Another one is Paranormosite, The Mermaid's Curse, and that's coming out on February 19th. Square Enix niche but beloved adventure Paranormosite is getting a follow-up in The Mermaid's Curse. The new entry looks to have more of the same scares and flowchart hopping story one would hope for, and we won't be waiting long either. The investigation will get underway in 2 weeks. And then Captain Tsubasa 2 World Fighters 2026 for the Switch, obviously. Who doesn't love the theatricality of anime boys playing soccer? Captain Tsubasa looks to bring all that competitive fire to the Switch later this year with the latest entry in the hyped-up sports RPG. And on February 11th is Tokyo Scramble, and that's coming out on Switch 2. You're on a train, commuting, having a normal day until a cave-in suddenly sends you tumbling into an underworld filled with reptilian monsters that all want to hunt you down. That sounds like the New York sewer systems. Well, maybe you'll get some tips for survival from Tokyo Scramble, a new survival horror game that's coming on February 11th. Valheim 2026 at some point this year. I'm sure at least a few of you are fond memories of building a hearth and home in Valheim. Actually, I hate builder games personally. The Viking survival game that has become the big new thing on PC. If you liked an excuse to return to the forests, seas, and strongholds, it's coming to Switch 2 later this year. Hollow Knight, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So it looks like they're porting Hollow Knight over to the Switch 2. If you've been itching for a Hollow Knight replay after finishing Silksong, you now have a great excuse. A Switch 2 version of Hollow Knight with enhanced visuals and improved frame rate arrives on the Nintendo handheld today. So this happened a couple of days ago. If you already own the Switch version of the game, the Switch 2 upgrade is free. All you have to do is pay the exorbitant price for a Switch 2. eFootball Kickoff, coming this summer. If anime-styled soccer isn't your thing, then eFootball is here to give you real-life players and a world tour to compete in. The latest eFootball arrives on Switch 2 sometime this summer. I would think you would want this to come out. I think you would want to write this for fans of soccer or football. Because if it's not their thing, they're not gonna play this game. I think they messed up the wording. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, coming out in June 18th. Square Enix time-traveling HD 2D adventure is locking in a release date. Today's Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase showed off some of the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales era spanning mechanics, and a release date of June 18th. Super Bomberman Collection, coming out at the time that this article was written. Final Fantasy Remake recently arrived on Switch 2, and now you have a timer on your playthrough to wrap it up before its sequel, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, makes Switch 2 timer before Final Fantasy VII Remake recently arrives on Switch 2, and now you have a timer on your playthrough to wrap it up before its sequel, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, makes its Switch 2 debut. The massive second entry in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy comes to Switch 2 on June 3rd, 2026. So they didn't actually even give me anything for Bomberman. They just went straight from Bomberman to Final Fantasy. Pragmata, April 24th, 2026. Capcom's puzzle shooter Pragmata is indeed coming to Switch 2 on April 24th. Actually, this whole article is kind of janky, so I'm just going to cut this out completely and give you guys the individual game articles. So Konami is releasing a 13-game Goemon collection for Nintendo Switch, PS5, and PC. And I know I said this was going to be a Nintendo update, but since these cover multiple platforms, I figured this also fits here as well. Set to release on Thursday, July 2nd for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Steam, Ganbare Goemon Daishugo will include classic entries from the series from the Famicom, Super Famicom, and Game Boy eras. Unfortunately, the game does not appear to be set for release outside of Japan. since it's debuted only in the Japanese version of Tuesday's partner Nintendo Direct. According to an announcement, the compilation will include new features such as rewind, quick save, turbo buttons, and rapid fire buttons. A music player will also be included, in addition to a gallery showing each game's instructional manual. And these are the games that are coming out on it: is Ganbare Goemon, Kakarikuri Journey, Ganbare Goemon 2, Famicom is when it originally came out, Ganbare Goemon Gaiden Kita Ogan Kisiru, and I apologize if I'm messing these up. The Legend of the Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, Ganbare Goemon Gaiden 2, Tinka no Zaiho, Ganbare Goemon 2, 3, Kira Kira Dochu, Go For It Ebisumaru Trick Maze, Kurofuni to no Nazo, the Tengu Party's Counterattack, and Starry Sky Warrior Dynamite Appears. The collection will be available both digitally and physically, and Konami plans to offer a limited edition package in Japan featuring physical items. The Goemon games center on the titular character and are notable for their humorous tone and parodies of pop culture and other video games. I honestly have never played these games. I don't think I've ever actually even heard of these games. Alright, and now here's the Borderlands version for Switch 2. It's actually going to be delayed, is the short version of this. Borderlands 4 released on PlayStation and Xbox and PC back in September of last year. According to industry tracking group Circana, it was the 4th best-selling game of the year and continues to move copies. Hopes were high that the game would get something of a second life when it released on the Nintendo Switch 2, but that version, originally scheduled for release in October, has now been delayed again, and it doesn't look like it's going to get released anytime soon. Honestly, from what I saw, everything of Borderlands 4, it was mediocre at best. In fact, if you look it up on Steam, the ratings are mixed. However, unrelated to this story, currently Borderlands 4 is actually on sale on Steam, and it's only going to cost you about $40 right now. So if you were on the fence about getting it, if you haven't played it yet, like myself, because I refuse to spend $80 on a game, now might be a decent time. Take-Two's Alan Lewis spoke to Variety and revealed that development on Borderlands 4 for Switch 2 has been quote-unquote paused, which means Gearbox is not currently working on bringing the game to the finish line. The game is now delayed indefinitely with no release date in sight. Obviously, I haven't read ahead yet, but I wonder if this is related to the whole censoring thing that Nintendo likes to do for certain games. Now, paused isn't the same as canceled, but the writing is on the wall for the Switch 2 version of Borderlands 4. Previews of the game were lambasted for their poor performance compared to other console versions, and the game didn't launch in an optimal state on any platform. It didn't launch in any optimal state on any platform, and it was also overpriced and overhyped. And a lot of fans like myself didn't bother to play it, and I'm still holding out. Although, like I said earlier, it's on sale, so I might buy it because I love Borderlands games. And it's at a price that I find acceptable for a new game. Borderlands has a history of underwhelming handheld ports, which can forget the tremendously terrible PlayStation Vita version of Borderlands 2. I didn't realize it came out on Vita. I thought Vita was a defunct console at that time. I didn't realize that it was actually still a thing at the time. I'm a huge Vita fan and a huge Borderlands fan, but Borderlands 2 on Vita is an unplayable disaster, and a game I've never come close to finishing. Fortunately, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel are all great on Nintendo Switch, running at a decent 30 FPS with visuals that don't feel peeled back from the PS3 versions at all. Compare the Vita version of BL2, which often boasts a single-digit frame rate and crashes frequently. Throw in painfully long load times, and you can understand why I've never completed the Vita version of Borderlands 2. Alas, the Switch version of Borderlands 3 isn't polished since it uses the upgraded Unreal Engine 4. The original games used Unreal 3. Well, and that's what you get for trying to play a computer game on a Game Boy, or a product that is essentially a Game Boy. So I think if you're going to play a huge game that's graphically heavy on a reduced functionality console, you should expect a reduced functionality in the game. I'd like to think that Borderlands 4 on Switch will see the light of day someday. There's too much money on the table to just abandon the project. Maybe it's just not the right time yet. Perhaps they'd be better off waiting a couple of years until Borderlands 4's season of DLC and expansions are over and done with before launching the game on Switch 2. Maybe Gearbox needs to hire more people who understand the intricacies of the Switch 2 hardware in order to fit Borderlands 4 onto the system. Or maybe they just don't release it on a handheld, and then you don't have to worry about it at all. Maybe they should go back to work on Borderlands 3. That game could really use a proper Switch 2 version. For that matter, what about Tiny Tina's Wonderland? That game would be lovely on Switch 2. No, Tiny Tina's Wonderland is absolute trash on any version, or any console, or any computer. I will keep saying that as long as it keeps being brought up. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a horrible game, and nobody should play it in the history of ever again. If I could have remembered to return it before time ran out for me to return it, I would return it right now. That game is so horrible, I will never play it again, and I would recommend that you never play it on anything at all. Sorry, that is my tantrum and my rant for this article. For now, Borderlands 4 is only available for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and those are the three that it should stay on. It is, however, Steam Deck verified for what that's worth to you. That is the only handheld that it should probably be on. Alright, and here's more on the Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 Premium DLC Bounty Pack 2 Legend of the Stone Demon will drop on February 26th for those of you that are interested. Described by Gearbox as an all-new bite-sized yet flavorful narrative content, and I realize I'm tangenting here, but it needed to get out for this needs to get out for those of you that played Borderlands 4, and also, like I said, it's at a price that I'd be willing to actually pay to actually play this game. The new DLC includes mission and legendary loot to collect, as well as themed vault card featuring 24 cosmetics and 4 re-rollable pieces of gear unlocked through gameplay. While the team held back on the story details, promising that we'll find out more about the legend of the Stone Demon closer to launch. We do get more info about the major update that will be released alongside Bounty Pack 2 Pearlcent gear, a new rarity tier with power levels superior to even legendary gear. This new rarity will be available to all players regardless of what edition of Borderlands 4 they own, although some pieces of Pearlcent gear will be exclusive to Bounty Pack 2. They're also treated to a little update on what's still to come as well. The first story pack for Borderlands 4, entitled Mad Ellie and the Vault of the Damned, will arrive next month and introduces multiple main and side missions set in a new zone of Kairos, as well as new gear and cosmetics. The story will center on the return of the indomitable fan favorite Ellie, and focus on a cosmic horror theme with a bloodier, darker tone. It'll also include the first new playable Vault Hunter, Cash, a former casino dealer bot. Borderlands 4 gives the series a massive kick in the pants it has needed, with a fantastic open world and greatly improved combat. Even if bugs and invisible walls can sometimes throw off that groove, which they said in a review, and they gave it an 8 out of 10. Earlier this week, they reported that Borderlands 4 publisher Take-Two announces the Switch 2 version was paused, bordering on permanently. Okay, and moving on to the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. So it looks like Fallout 4 is getting a port to Switch 2 as well. When the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition launched last November for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, Bethesda also promised a Switch 2 version would arrive in 2026. Today's Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase revealed that the game's Nintendo debut is just a couple of weeks away. When Fallout 4 arrived on PS4, Xbox, and PC in 2015, it earned a 9 out of 10 from Game Informer, contributing to an 87 out of 100 on reviews aggregate site Metacritic. This definitive edition of the 2015 open world RPG includes every post-launch expansion and over 150 pieces of Creation Club content. Although Nintendo did not promote this, the other perk of playing on Switch 2 is the viability to strap the console to your arm like VATS, they mean like a Pip-Boy, to play the game like the coolest person around, even if that isn't an official feature and will probably result in you damaging your Switch 2, so don't try it. The ability to play Fallout 4 on the go through your Nintendo Switch 2 is an exciting proposition and will be able to do just that when Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition arrives on February 24th. So my fellow Fallout fans, you can check this out on Switch 2 on the 24th later this month. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming to Nintendo Switch 2 and Xbox this year. So it's no longer going to be stuck to just the Nintendo or not Nintendo, it's the PlayStation or computer. During today's Nintendo Switch 2 Direct presentation, Square Enix made an exciting appearance to show off Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which will be joining the predecessor's remake and catching Switch players up on the story that at last on June 3rd of 2026. So that's June 3rd, 2026 is the new version of the Final Fantasy game coming out on Switch 2. They also learned via Xbox Store that the game will hit Xbox consoles at the same time. We have known the entire FF7R saga would be on Nintendo platforms at some point. It was just a matter of time. Rebirth's appearance will effectively catch players on Nintendo's platforms up with the story so far, just in time for what we hope will be the announcement and release of the third and final part of this saga. Pre-orders for Rebirth on the eShop began today, and there are various digital bonuses available for those who take advantage of the pre-orders. Final Fantasy VII Remake first launched in 2020, and yet delivered anyway on those high expectations. This article gave it an 8 out of 10, saying it breathes exciting new life into a classic while standing as a great RPG all its own. The game was originally a PS4 exclusive, but came to PS5 with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and later to PC and Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo Switch 2 as well just recently. We similarly loved Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They gave it a 9 out of 10, and saying it impressively builds off of what Remake set in motion, both as a best-in-class action RPG full of exciting challenges and awe-inspiring recreation of a world that has meant so much to so many for so long. And they'll keep posting on updates about the Nintendo Switch release later on. And as a funny note, I thought I would add in here and ruin everybody's childhood. with this article. Pokemon character designer reveals that Ultra Beasts were inspired by rejected artwork for Pokemon. Pokemon character designer Yusuke Omura has revealed how he created the designs of the Ultra Beasts, showing that even rejected concepts can prove inspirational to artists later on. Ultra Beasts first appeared in the 3DS games Pokemon Sun and Moon, known as Generation 7 of the Pokemon games back in 2016. They are extra-dimensional Pokemon that come from Ultra Space and occasionally stumble into the Pokemon world through wormholes. Pokemon series character designer Yusuke Omura tweeted on February 4th about how he designed the Ultra Beasts for Sun and Moon. And Omura was the lead Pokemon designer, continuing to work alongside original Pokemon designer Ken Sugimori. Omura explained that he came up with the Ultra Beasts thinking back on his Pokemon designs that Sugimori had rejected. Omura then explained, I then deliberately based the artistic direction of the Ultra Beasts designs on the reasons that these Pokemon were rejected. In a way, they are like a collective manifestation of my own resentment, which is kind of scary, Omura noted, before clarifying, this doesn't mean that I hate Sugimori or anything like that. The Ultra Beasts are more sci-fi or insect-inspired than the cuter, often animal or plant-influenced designs of Ken Sugimori's original Pokemon, such as Squirtle or Bulbasaur. They also often have exaggerated features like the mosquito-like Buzzwole's chunky muscles or the elegant Pheromosa's long antenna. In response to Omura's tweet, users chimed in with praise for the Ultra Beast designs. Thank you for bringing Ultra Beasts into the world, one user replied. I think their otherworldly appearance also opened up new avenues for Pokemon. Omura replied, I designed them hoping that would be the case. It really feels like the Pokemon world expanded thanks to the Ultra Beasts, another commenter added. The designer's hard work really paid off. Many others hope the Ultra Beasts will appear in another mainline Pokemon game in the future. With Pokemon marking its 30th anniversary this year, fans can look forward to at least one new game coming out, Pokemon Poketopia. But it's likely that there are more announcements in the pipeline. For starters, Jigglypuff will be appearing in the Super Bowl, of all places, in a special anniversary video this weekend. So if you want to check out the new Pokemon commercial, it's going to be in the Super Bowl this year. And with that, I will say goodnight, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and you can either catch me on Kick or here on the YouTube. Catch you later, everybody. Alright, so whose childhood did I ruin? My throat is dry. Okay. I'm going to take another quick break, get some more water, because like I said, my throat is incredibly dry. And when I come back, we'll play some games for a little bit. Be right back, guys. All right. I'm back. I'm gonna get the game going here. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Ooh, it actually played this time. All right, let me switch to in-game. Okay, this is, there we go. I guess it's just taking a minute. Let me change the thing for my stream, put it where it belongs. All right. Now we can continue.
Damn them. After everything that happened.
Brother, do not keep us in the dark.
It is not your concern.
You criticize the captain for withholding intelligence, and yet you treat us to the same evasive obscurity.
Stray words have cost me dearly.
So you do not trust us?
Brothers, calm yourselves, lest you face the chaplain's censure.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Look!
Oh, that thing looks janky.
I hope they survived.
I need new war gear. Alright, let's see. What do we have now? Heavy bolt rifle, bolt sniper. Give me the heavy. We'll leave that all the same. Okay, I have... Oh, maybe it's because I'm not playing multiplayer. Alright, let me see about this DLC. Because I swear I bought it. I swear I bought this. What's the... Ah, jeez. Alright, I guess I'll have to come back to it. Oh. Please return to the title screen and apply the changes. Okay, cool. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I could have swore I had that add-on already. Oh well. I got it now. At least I didn't lose out on much.
Damn them. After everything that happened,
Brother, do not keep us in the dark.
it is not your concern.
You criticize the captain for withholding intelligence, and yet you treat us to the same evasive obscurity.
Stray words have cost me dearly.
So you do not trust us?
Not in so
calm
much as I can,
yourselves.
not so
Lest you
far as
face
I
the
can throw you.
chaplain's censure.
Look!
I hope they survive.
Alright, we're going with the heavy bolter. Leaving that all the same. All right.
Time to go. I will not concede another loss to our enemies.
Brother, you seem troubled.
I tire of reckless fools.
I hope you do not mean us.
Not unless you worship the Omniscient.
Ah, then I share your distaste.
So he hates those Mechanicus guys. Servant of the Machine, Avarax.
The temple is located inside the dome section of the city. We'll have to land outside and make our Lock armor.
They're gonna crash, so they just stand in the middle of the floor. It doesn't seem safe.
Lance of Jove, report.
Minor damage. Tech team is inbound.
Can we depend on you for extraction?
Yes, Lord. We will be there.
Very good, brother. The Emperor protects.
Make haste. We have considerable ground to cover.
Yeah, I prefer the power sword.
What was that?
Looks like a Eurodrone. Placed a local base inside that building.
That was
Sir, have you faced a Eurodrone before?
I have. A tricky adversary.
great, tricky. I don't like tricky.
Clear the area.
For the Emperor.
That's nice.
Is that you?
Chiron! Bless the Emperor. It's good to see you.
Where's your squad?
Gone. Neurothroat tore them to pieces.
We need to get across the bridge.
Lieutenant, nothing gets across with that beast up there.
What are we up against?
It has its rear covered and we do not have the manpower to break through. The Cadians are holding the bridge, at great cost.
Set up assault positions by the bridge.
We'll deal with the Neurothroat.
Very well. We will avenge them, brother. Watch yourself.
What's our theoretical? A direct assault on the rear guard. Is that it? Count our ability. Good.
Let us choke them with their own blood.
Chiron, how do you know Varellus? We served together in Night Company. I owe him my life. How so? We were once defending a stronghold from an Orcusol. A warboss overpowered me. Had his drill against my head. Varellus appeared, cut the bastard's arm off, and beat him to death with it. Let us honor him by avenging his men.
Hello.
Grabbing equipment.
That's what I was wanting. Not even wanting, needing. I needed that.
Dead. Reloading weapon.
That thing sucks, man.
Restocking.
I swear that thing kind of really sucks. Yeah, I know that that's the way I need to go, but I'm trying to find health. And there's nothing here. No heals for me.
Brother, what happened on Dryer?
Nothing good.
Can you be specific?
I would sooner focus on the mission at hand.
You are withholding information relevant to the mission at hand.
Mind yourself, Sergeant.
Your behavior has been erratic. You force your way into classified files. You tell us nothing. Gadriel, we deserve to know who is leading us.
This conversation is over.
I mean, yeah, I kind of see their point. I too would want to know who I'm dealing with.
Deal with them! Morellis, ready your men.
You broke through.
We're about to take down the Neurothrope.
Good. Make it suffer.
I don't like the sound of that.
Concentrate fire on the hero.
Oof.
Changing magazine. Reload. Vermin stuff. Reload.
Oh, that pulse is annoying.
Resupply. Reload.
Jeez Louise, vicious.
Xenos would have felt that.
Victory is ours, brothers.
What hours? I did all the heavy
Morellis,
lifting.
Titus, your men are clear to take the bridge.
By the Primarch. I had little faith I would hear from you again. Will you be joining the assault?
I'll pop loose to the dome.
Travel well, brothers.
Lance of Joe, we are heading for the bridge. Status report.
Damage is worse than I thought. Tech priests are working on it now.
Keep me updated. Brothers, let us proceed.
Proceeding.
Canadians are driving the Tyranids back. The Xenos cowards broken and been apart. Vile creatures.
No time to gloat. We must keep moving. Let none escape. hurry.
Huh. Lots of cutscenes.
Need a ride, brothers?
Sergeant, good to see you.
The Cadians have the bridge under control. Thought you could use an extra hand.
I'll welcome up.
Come on.
Nice. Always good to have a helping hand.
The temple is this way.
Lieutenant, the Cadians are requesting support.
Go. Thank you, brother.
Ultramarines!
Have the enemy infiltrated the dome?
No, my lord. What about the Temple of Thasian? The dome was evacuated days ago.
Rejoin the main force immediately.
Our orders are to remain here.
On whose authority?
Captain Fairburn. We are to hold this position until further notice.
The dome is empty. Now move on.
But, sire,
I gave you an order.
forgive me, my lord. Perhaps there was a communication error. The captain insisted.
The deserters.
No. We have our orders.
Vox your captain. If you are deserters, I'll execute you myself.
Oops.
Captain Fairburn, come in. Captain Fairburn, come in.
Ambush.
Oh boy. That guy's got good eyes. That guy's toast.
Kill them!
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
Traitors of the Thousand Sons! You will pay for what you've done!
Your treachery ends.
More abominations! For the beast's eye!
Munitions, purge the heretics.
Let us punish them, treachery! They go about space and time!
Not fall prey to their trickery. Your worthless life is ended. Titus to Captain Akaran.
Akaran here.
We were just attacked by the forces of chaos.
You're certain?
No doubt. Heretic Astartes and their minions.
Throne, damn it. Do you have loose?
Negative. We're minutes away.
Find him and get him out of there. Hurry!
What are we waiting for?
I'm running right now. What do you mean, what are we waiting for? We're not waiting at all. That dummy.
Cover him.
I will grind your bones to dust!
Chiron, take a defensive position. We will cover. Chiron!
He's in a range.
He's risking the entire mission.
He's trapped over there.
There are force fields covering the exits.
They seem impervious to our weapons.
Back to the wall. Changing magazine. The champion lies defeated. Reload.
That is all of them.
The exit is blocked by heretic sorcery.
The altar. It bears the mark of the archenemy.
Destroy it. Destroy that vile artifact destroying.
Look! The force fields are collapsing!
Chiron, move through the exit.
Brother! By the gates of Hera, you must calm yourself!
I will not rest until every last vile heretic lies dead at my feet!
That dude has lost himself to madness.
Chiron, I order you to regroup.
I have other business.
He will need cover.
Move.
I've never seen him lose control like this.
He has put the fate of the whole system in jeopardy.
Forget you all!
No victory can you hear. Bridge clear. Cover Chiron. That champion lies defeated. Need to reload. Resupplying.
At who?
traitors remain. Get to Chiron, now!
Finally. Jeez.
Sergeant, check the perimeter. Yes, brother.
Punch him in the face.
Explain yourself. Need I justify my hatred? You need justify your recklessness.
The traitors have a debt to me.
And you will throw away your life to collect.
Death is my duty.
Your duty is to the Emperor. You will die when and where he so chooses, not over some personal vendetta. Do you understand?
Lieutenant, you should see this.
That dude's been in the military 100 years and he's still only a lieutenant.
Those must be in there.
They're using some kind of shield.
The altars. Same ones we encountered earlier. They must generate the shield.
Destroy them. Then purge these abominations from the face of this world.
It seems the traitors' motives are unmasked.
Seems.
You doubt they wish to stop a war?
You will soon learn that when dealing with heretics, nothing is as it seems.
Must be stopped. Why?
The artifact we saw in those classified files may be of Chaos origin.
Why wasn't it destroyed?
It is immensely powerful. They believe they can control it.
And you're just gonna hand it over to Noons? Let it continue?
These are my orders. It matters not. Kill them!
Let us tear off their limbs.
Gain the notice of the change of ways. Die for the true gods.
The coward wins back. Another barrier. Sustained by a hunter, no doubt.
Purge the heretics so we may destroy it.
Area secure.
Now the altar. Spell is broken. They are attempting to breach the doors.
That is no simple sorcery. Look how twisted the altar has grown. It seems alive. If it lives, then let us teach it of pain and death. It reeks of the warp.
Raise the armor of your contempt and snuff it out.
Look! It shrinks from us!
Then keep close and endure. We must disrupt the spell.
Oh, joy.
The heretics sent such a meager force to meet us.
Show them the error of their ways.
More abominations that wish
follow as your fallen brothers.
You at least can still bleed.
Your worthless life is ended.
Their sorcery is undone.
Lieutenant
Good,
Titus
I am out of
Jones,
ammo. I need
status
ammo.
report.
They are patched up along our way.
See you at the objective.
The Emperor protects.
Until he lets you die.
Lance of Jove, stand by for extraction.
Affirmative.
In the name of the Emperor, open the doors!
Two heads are better than one, I suppose.
Morius lose.
I owe you my existence.
Come with us.
To where?
The battle barge.
Compliance, but I must speak with Archmagus Nozick at once.
He's dead.
Dead.
You are to replace him. Lose.
He didn't like that at all. He didn't like that one itty bitty bit.
Approaching battle barge, docking in 1 minute.
The power source. It's dangerous.
I have spent my life studying it. I assure you it's quite safe. In the right hands.
Arrogance.
Arrogance.
Why must the Mechanicus meddle with the unknown?
We follow the will of the Omniscient.
Go ahead.
Titus, report to Captain Akaran immediately on arrival.
Confirmed.
Titus. Captain Titus was killed on the Forge world of Graia over a century ago. He died holding the power source in his hands. Not even an Astartes could survive power of that magnitude.
Oh boy.
Morius lose. Come with me.
Well, that just kind of exposed his whole thing. Well, that mission wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. To be honest, I thought it was going to be much, much worse. I still don't like these loading screens. They're still crazy long.
We must report to Captain Akaran.
On those Promethean links immediately.
Administering maintenance.
Only repair trip before my next flight. What was that between you and Ludus?
Irrelevant.
I disagree.
That is your right.
Brother, we only want to help you.
Help? You almost cost us the mission, and now you speak of help.
He's got a point.
Forces report multiple contacts with ROKAI throughout London.
Lord,
Heretic Astartes. They're showing up in every hive city on Avarax. We're already overstretched by the Tyranids. The traitors have us off guard. The Adeptus Mechanicus tell me Aurora is ready. They say the weapon will work.
sir,
I know your concerns, Titus. But we may have no choice.
can we at least warn Calgar of the danger?
Impossible. The astropathic relay on Avarax has been completely surrounded. Every attempt we've made to break through the Tyranid lines has failed.
Can we Vox a message in?
There's a dead zone around the relay. Something's interfering with our Vox comms.
We have to get inside.
Emperor, save me. I've tried. Now the Tyranids have launched an attack on our defenses. We're pulling back to the fortress. We'll make our final stand there.
Battlefield projection. Magnify C3. Where are you? There. The Hive Tyrant.
We've had no reports.
It's there. We kill it. We break the synaptic connection.
They'd scatter like rats. Hive Tyrant. A worthy adversary.
And if you're wrong, if it's not there, I cannot afford to throw men after a hunch.
Give me 2 squads.
2 squads.
We need to kill the Hive Tyrant, find whoever is jamming us, and get the message inside the relay.
6 men. That's all I can spare. Use them wisely.
Thank you.
The Emperor protects.
Hey.
Lieutenant Titus,
Receiving.
attend me on the crew deck.
Intelligence suggests
Acknowledged.
in the presence of elite units. Have launch crews prepared to drop
Oh boy.
weapon we take launch from my office. Yes, sir. If the chaplain wishes to see you because of my transgressions, I will take full responsibility.
I gave no report. I have yet to decide if you require formal penance.
Jerichus was blindsided by a Astartes.
Oh, that's a heck of a pauldron.
Titus, the captain has put great faith in you with this mission. Should you reach the relay, your message to Lord Calgar may determine the course of this war. Choose your words wisely.
You doubt my intentions.
It is your actions I will judge. I need not remind you of the consequences you suffered the last time. If you cannot trust in the will of the Primarch, then you are unfit for this duty.
That is absolutely disgusting. A fat little cadaver robo baby thing.
It seems I am not the only one on this ship with concerns about your intentions.
It is the chaplain's responsibility to ensure our chapter remains pure, not yours.
Your erratic behavior is plain for all to see. And now, I find you have a history of it.
I am doing my duty, as I was then, protecting a system from ruin.
There he is. Lieutenant, Galio and I were just examining your recent diagnostic.
Galio, I object to such intrusions.
As do I. But they are queries I must fulfill.
I seek only answers. Your survival is a profound mystery that must be resolved.
Such unbridled curiosity is the gateway to ruin.
But that is where you are mistaken. Ruin is all around us, but I will soon depart for the Aurora facility on the Merium. And there, I shall close all gateways to ruin permanently. You will see.
That guy has me unsettled like nobody's business. Okay. I don't like that my gear got reset to default. This one is still better. Alright, I'll do one more mission and then that'll probably be it for the night. So we got just this one mission left.
Lieutenant, the squad is ready. We are yours to command, Lieutenant.
The astropathic relay on Abarax is under direct assault. If it falls, so do our hopes of reinforcement. We will engage in a 3-point operation to break the Xenos command, restore Vox, and secure the relay.
We will not fail you.
Not one of us can afford to fail this day. Prepare for deployment. I will transmit mission details on descent.
How do 9 oversized, literally oversized men fit on these ships?
Approaching home zone. Prepare for landing.
Lieutenant, it should be us facing the Hive Tyrant.
Talassa can handle it.
They have 3 men. We should be with them, but you have us playing courier.
That message has to get through.
And what exactly is that message?
Speak your mind, brother.
I searched the archives. You were once captain of the 2nd Company, and then you disappeared over a century ago.
I was serving with the Death Watch.
There would be records.
Not for a Black Shield.
A Black Shield. You would erase your chapter markings.
I would die for these colors.
Then why?
I was accused. It was my penance.
What were you accused of?
Corruption.
Brace for landing.
Move out.
I bet they feel like total a-holes right now.
Delta Wing, box check.
Iridium here. Still on our gunship. Talassa has landed, and soon a tyrant will fall.
Acknowledged. Proceeding to relay. Maintain box reports. Damocles out. The Astropath relay is 4 miles from here. Expect heavy Tyranid presence.
Watch out the artillery.
Sporadic reports, but they are here.
Bastards could poison you with their stench alone. Ah, Empress safe. Entering the Vox blackout, Damocles.
Understood. Damocles out.
Chiron. If we encounter Chaos forces,
You need not concern yourself with me, Lieutenant.
disappear like that again, and you'll be facing the Master of the Watch.
I understand. Sir, why did you not tell us of your penance earlier?
It was not your business.
And now it is.
You have made it so. Through suspicion and intrigue. Let us get to work. Open the gates.
They're jammed, my lord. Damage from the last attack.
Stand aside.
Seal the gates behind us.
Yes, my lord. Close the gates!
The relay is ahead. Spores!
Engage!
Oh, I love this gun.
The spores collapse the bridge. There's no way through. I may have an alternate route.
Proceed.
Transmitting to all specs now. We'll need to clear this debris.
Alright. Moving on, moving on, moving on.
The path is clear.
Ding dong! Nice.
I think we found our exit.
Yeah, one would say.
Our
Oh, that
progress
sucks.
down there.
Delta Wing, we have given the infernal Xenos a fitting burial.
It is not dead.
Enlighten us, Lord Titus.
The swarm would go feral without their connection to the hive mind, but their focus is still on the relay.
Let's confirm the Lieutenant's assessment. Aiding a cohesion that's still in full effect. That beast is not yet dead. Our word is bond. This void-sworn behemoth has seen its last day.
Lay waste to them, brothers.
Need to reload. So
constantly resupplying, I might add. Yes, please.
The door is inoperative. Is there an alternate route?
Yes, but it would add considerable time.
Then we must find the power and restore it.
Of course, if they're not going to tell me where to restore the power, I'm going to just have to make assumptions.
Incoming mines!
We have power.
Open the door.
Oh!
Very good.
Yeah, I don't like that if it's only got 12
Take out
bullets.
those mines! Warp spawn. Reloading.
Record. Declare evidence. Crates found in Sector 55 of the Upper Hive contain 12 volumes of dubiously heretical works, also recovered. 14 Cantrail type las rifles, 8 las pistols, various designs. The serial numbers are filed off. Heretical symbols are applied to the surface of the weapons. I'm enclosing picts supporting the evidence. Evidence to be destroyed in accordance with invasion protocols. Traces of the cult indicate that it has long since taken root in the Hive. The mere thought that he has reached the highest levels turns my stomach. These officials, bureaucrats, and politicians are so mired in their intrigues that they warmed and nurtured the roots of heresy within their walls. Well, the fire of retribution is already consuming them. The punishment of the Emperor is inevitable. End of record.
The heretics mean to stop us.
To all appearances, yes.
Elaborate.
The Traitor Legion's legacy of deception goes back 10,000 years. They are masters of it.
They are clearly here to stop Aurora.
I am not convinced. There is more to this, I am sure of it.
Their motives matter not. I will kill them just the same.
Kill them all. Need to reload. Avoid strike. Over here.
Got my shield back at least. Oh, fluffernutter.
Reloading weapon.
Yeah. Gave him the Bane treatment.
Reload. End of the hall.
Alright, we move on to the next thing.
We should turn around and regroup with the main force.
Titus to Resilient. Requesting Gamma Pad and Hammerfall bunker on my location immediately.
You mean to jump?
Request confirmed. Stand by.
There's our entry.
That's quite a shot.
Damocles to Talassa. Report.
If Talassa fails to take out the Hive turret, then our little excursion was all for naught.
Oh!
We should have remained with the main force. Why toil in obscurity when there's glory center stage? Hey, Sergeant? Our brothers are dying while we sneak around in the shadows.
If we fail to send this message, we face a massacre.
Why does everybody seem to have a problem with the main character?
You say there'll be a massacre. How do you know that? Why else would the traitors be trying so hard to stop us? Our lieutenant said it himself. There's deception at work.
If you got something to say, Sergeant. Damn it.
Ooh, not happy. Literally giant babies, all three of them.
Ultramarines!
Gadriel, you're not thinking straight!
I'll be saying the same with you.
Damn it, you are an Ultramarine! Now act like one! fortified. Form a defensive line at that bridge.
Yes, my lord.
Reinforce the breach.
Give me back my power sword.
This will serve you well. Engaging process.
Space Marines!
The Tyranids have broken through. You're not making it time.
They never learn.
Just keep coming!
Yoke pack engaged. Meridian, do you read?
Alright, how do I do the... Oh, I need... I can't remember how to do the jetpack stuff. Okay.
Signal is being jammed, as the captain suspected.
Thalassa, report.
The vile Xenos slicks.
Thalassa, you cut out. Repeat. Thalassa!
So of our 3 objectives, none have been achieved.
No going back now. Moving! Restocking! Restocking. Taking thrusters.
John Pence is struggling with all this dust.
Jump back fouled with dust. We must proceed on foot.
There's my bitch.
Talassa has failed.
Lieutenant, what are your orders?
We fight!
Ultima!
Come on, Talassa.
Another one dead. Changing magazine. Target destroyed. Resupplying. Reload. Reloading weapon. Do not let them up.
I am death, servant of the Emperor, and you will taste my wrath.
Come on, come on.
Let me up. The fight is won.
They will not get past you.
Oh yeah, got him again.
I have slain the Carnifex. Restocking. War gear prime.
Oh shit. Yes.
The Hive Tyrant was controlling these underlings via synaptic link. The turmoil you now see among the enemy can mean only one thing. The Hive Tyrant is dead.
Viridian here. If you can shear this, Damocles, we've got the bastards.
Excellent work, brother. Any contact with Talassa?
Talassa to Damocles. The alien contaminates our world no longer.
Lieutenant Titus to relay. Area secure. Open the gates.
Nice.
Let's go.
The Space Marine didn't do your damn duty.
Well fought, brothers. I will make sure the captain hears of your deeds.
I need no commendation. Is that right?
Enough!
Lieutenant, upon completion of this mission, I request transfer to another squad.
I will pass your request to the captain.
I hate having this sword. Objectively, the chainsaw sword is worse.
Grabbing equipment. The Hive fleets cast a psychic shadow that tears at the minds of psychers.
Denying worlds in their path the chance to call for aid.
Let us hope we are not too late. A fine gift from the Forge.
Okay.
a message for Marnius Calgar.
I cannot help you.
It's urgent.
In addition to the shadow cast in the warp by the Tyranids, demonic forces are now poised to attack anyone who opens their minds to the warp.
You would flee from your duty.
I would have you know.
Give me your message.
Creepy.
I have it. Let us begin.
My lady, I must protest. The danger is too great.
Silence. There are no guarantees.
Pretty cool cutscene though, for sure. I am a fan of this cutscene. Well, all the cutscenes, really. Excuse me.
What is this? I do not know.
You wish to bring Koga here that you may kill him. Heretic. Heretic. You will betray us as you betrayed them on Graia.
Lies.
Arrest him! He means to kill her!
Lieutenant!
Gadriel.
I am no heretic.
This is the power stone by himself. He must be stopped! Kill the heretic! Kill him!
Enough!
Kill him!
What have you done?
He's the traitor. I really don't want to fight this guy. I really do not.
What six-way pleasure to hide beyond the immaterial. My thanks to thee, dear cousin. So long have I watched
I assure you it will be brief.
yes. Play the game.
Ay, jeez. Squad members better come and get me. Shit. Well, I let him.
Did he escape? I don't know.
Lieutenant Titus, come in.
This is Titus.
Chaos forces have been detected entering the system. They are going after Aurora. We are leaving for Demerium immediately.
How did you know? I was a boy on Calf when the word bearers attacked. I came to know the mark of chaos.
We're returning to the battle barge. I understand your actions, but your suspicions end here. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
The dude's an a-hole, man. A grade a-hole.
last few hours, traitor forces have arrived in their hundreds and commandeered the facility.
Commandeered? Where is Luz?
Inside. They have the facility, Luz, and the power source.
Holy terror.
Perhaps you were right, Titus.
What's our theoretical?
We've diverted all available forces to the Merium, but we're well below full strength. We've prepared an assault, but it has little chance of success, unless we take care of this. They're using it to draw in reinforcements. For every one of them we kill, 2 more show up in their place. It's heavily guarded.
I'll need a combat squad, 5 men.
I can spare 3 men. Next, the enemy seem to be drawing their power from this structure. What is it? We don't know. Every attempt to bring it down has failed. Your squad has developed a reputation for unconventional approaches. Any ideas?
I've read of Demirium. It's a burial world. 4,000 years ago, there was a clash between the Ultramarines and the Heretics. The Sword of Atreus, a battle barge wrecked in the fighting, was laid to rest here. What of it? Records state that while its body was ruined, its engines burned bright, even as it was interred. It may not fly, but it might ram. A long shot, to say the least. Worth a try.
Very well then. Navigation systems are probably dead.
We can't afford to miss. He's right. Someone will need to get close to the target and place a beacon.
Our offensive launches in 90 minutes. The Emperor guide you, brothers.
And you, sir.
Oh boy.
Lieutenant Titus, see me on the crew deck at once.
As you wish, Chaplain.
Ensure brothers Chiron and Gadriel are in attendance.
Oh boy. We'll get through all of this, and then I'll call it a night after that.
Using an ancient battle barge as a battering ram. An unorthodox approach.
You disapprove?
On the contrary, it is inspired thinking.
I reluctantly second that. Why reluctantly? Because it will go to your head.
Titus, I am troubled by a report I have received from the Astra Telepathica. An accusation of heresy.
Her voice was puppeted by her.
The lieutenant will answer.
The Psyker was possessed.
Your sergeant believed otherwise.
I was mistaken.
You attempted to incapacitate your lieutenant.
Thank the Emperor I failed.
And now, the only individual capable of reaching Lord Kalgar is dead. By your hands. I will be watching all of you. Should I suspect even a flicker of corruption, I will not hesitate as you did. You are dismissed.
Oh boy.
Brother, what was spoken by the chaplain?
We have arrived at the burial. Thunderhawks immediately and prepare for assault.
Time to go.
All right. And with that, we are going to call it a night. As far as streaming tomorrow, maybe I enjoy this game, so I may just stream strictly just this and take it kind of easy. In the meantime, you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and maybe I'll see y'all